That was funny. Welcome to episode 37 of Cue the Duck Boats podcast. Kevin, famous number 37. This one should be hard for you.
Patrice
Layup.
Bergeron, baby.
Captain Patrice, back again, back for another year. Maybe his last year as a Boston Bruin. God, that'll be a sad day, but we don't even need to get into that. I don't even want to think about it. Just a little precursor. There's like tornadoes and hail at Connor's house, so if he comes in and out, that's why. Or if we hear any thunder, that's why. Kevin's down in a 20-piece nugget from McDonald's that's 3 hours old. So it's just regular Sunday night.
It's only an hour old. It came over on the boat. We don't have McDonald's on Nantucket.
The Cowboys won a football game against the Bengals, which was crazy, and just watched Game of Thrones. We're doing a different thing, a little different take on our normal recording time. The exact opposite. It's late night recording. And how are your guys' days? Activities. How are your days, Connor? How was your day today?
It was good. Now that the kids were sick the last episode, now the wife is sick this episode. So, a nice long run to Panera this morning to get some soup for the wife and watch a little football and laundry and waiting to do this tonight. It's really about it. Not too exciting.
Sunday. Sounds like a good Sunday. Kev, you worked?
It was a rough Sunday. I woke up extremely hungover, and then I went to work at 1:30. Just got off work 30 minutes ago. So it's been a long day. I'm very tired. The body hurts. Sunday scaries are in full swing.
How exciting. What an exciting group we are. I think we just get right into it. We get right into that dirty water and we start talking about the Bruins and the really small little bit of news we have. So we actually don't have a lot of topics on the Bruins sheet, but I'm going to add a couple things, I think. First of all, I just want to, before we get into the prospect stuff, I want to talk about Pasternak's comments. Whoop. David Pastrnak has came out and more or less said he wants to be a Boston Bruin. Boston is the place that he feels picked him, allowed him to become the player he is, and allowed him to become the man he is. And he genuinely, it seemed after everything he's gone through the last couple summers with the loss of his son, with the injuries, he wanted a summer of just having fun. And that's what he did. He didn't look at his contract situation. I really believe him when he says that. Like, he didn't care. All summer, he said it was his first summer to get to actually train in like 3 years. He trained hard. He was on the ice all the time. I know that because I heard an interview with Jacob Verana, who said that he was training with Pasta and they had a like weekly skate over in Czech. So it seems Pasta's on track to sign a contract. Pasta's also willing to talk contract during the year. He said he has this whole year. They're going to get a deal done, more or less. So my worry meter for Pasta is now at a 1 out of 100.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I also think that what he said in his previous contract where, the money really doesn't completely matter, I think that somewhat trickles over. And that's why he's so, laissez-faire about the whole situation.
How about they asked him if he saw all the other guys getting paid, and he was like, no. He's like, no, I haven't looked at any other guys getting contracts. They're like, you haven't like looked around and been like, oh, and he was like, no. Pasta's going to get paid a lot of money. He's going to get paid what he's worth. Pasta's not looking for that Nathan McKinnon contract.
Thank God.
On that?
Oh, what's up?
Never mind.
Sorry. A little out of it.
Didn't know if you had an opinion on Pasta.
Oh, no. You guys pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's
great insight.
Get done.
Great insight.
We've been paying attention to
great
us.
insight. I love that. Great insight. Yeah, no, I listened to, I guess we'll talk about it later on, but McKinnon is going to get that money.
Oh.
All of it. It's going to be above 11. It's going to be above 11. To get it. But yeah, I think that kind of, other than that, guys are reporting, everyone's there. I think they were looking to be there in Boston. They had their golf tournament.
Char was back in Boston.
Yeah, that's nothing. He's not going. He's not going to be in the Bruins.
It's a nothing burger.
Yeah.
He might sign a contract, but it'll only be for a day.
Yeah, exactly. One other thing that from that Pasta interview, I listened to all 10 minutes of it.
The David Krejci comment?
No. What Krejci comment?
he made a comment about David Krejci, that video that he posted about like him coming back to Boston. He didn't tell Krejci that he was doing that ahead of time.
No.
He was like, but hey, can I post this? And Krejci was just like, go ahead.
Yeah,
Like,
and he said like the contract was nowhere near done. Krejci didn't even know if he was gonna want to play in Boston again. Like
that
he didn't know if
was
he wanted to
that
come
was
back.
his way to try and get himself back here.
Yeah, which is funny. Also, he did when they asked him about Cassidy, he was like, "No, like I'm not." He was like, "Yeah, he was a great coach. I got along with him really well. I was very surprised." He did not have one like he made it clear that he was a Cassidy fan, which I've said from the start. How could he not be? Like, how could he not be a Cassidy fan? Cassidy gave him world's longest leash. Couldn't really dislike him.
I mean, for Pasta, he was in the perfect scenario. I mean, you don't really have to play a two-way game when you have two of the best defensive forwards on your line.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no. But other than that, I mean, prospect tournament, I'll let you guys get into this more than me. This is
a little more heavy on the Kev. I'll let him take it off.
Yeah, no, it was just so far they've had 2 games, or 1-1. But the big thing is Johnny Beecher. He's showing his offense. If you watch like the clips on Twitter and everything from the game, he's finally using his big body. He's going to the dirty areas. He's getting those tips, the rebounds, everything. He's just putting them in. Beecher's come out and he's talked a lot this off season how he's focused on his shot. That was the number one thing he's been working on developing is his shot and becoming a like shoot first guy. He really didn't have to do it at Michigan. He was just anchoring that fourth line with all the stars that Michigan had. Beecher really didn't need to be a 20-goal scorer. So now that he's finally coming into the
anchoring the third line.
Third line? Was it the third line?
Yeah.
All right, my bad. Sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, so just having the ability now, like knowing he needs to step up his offensive game if you want to make his mark on this team. So he's really been focusing, and that's really paid off in this prospect tournament so far. And you love to see a guy that's gonna push in training camp, trying to make that fourth line. So knowing the work's been paid off, and hopefully there's more to come and see what Beecher's game is. But for all those people that have been hating on his offense, you never know. I think it's finally coming along. It's coming along. So
yeah, I've been a Beecher fan from the start. I think Johnny Beecher's going to be a good NHL player. I still do. He hasn't proved otherwise, so he has to see what he does. He genuinely like just listen to his comments. He sounds like he wants to make this Bruins team. I don't see there being a spot, but he wants to make it. Then next guy we have on the list,
Fabian Lysell.
Okay, that's not the name I was going for. I know how to pronounce that one. But Fabian Lysell. Lysell is a 6th night. By everyone saying Lysell's talent's off the board, very good. His coach in the WHL was like, yeah, I don't. Someone asked him like if they think they're going to get Fabian back this year, and he was just like, no. He's like, no, we'd love to have him back, but he's probably going to go pro. They're like, he should be going pro. I think Fabian Lysell is probably going to start the year in Providence, and so is Beecher. And when someone goes down or someone gets hurt or we need a spark, we will see both them play in Boston this season. I fully believe that.
Did you see Montgomery's comments about Lysell?
I did not.
So he came out, he had a press conference the other day, not press conference, but like interview. And he was talking about how that top spot on the line, when Marchand's gone, it's Zacha's to lose to Lysell. If Lysell proves it in training camp, it's all Lysell's. He said this is a guy you're not going to put in the bottom 6. If he's going to play, it's going to be top 6 line, top 6 minutes. He's going to play with Bergeron, and it's Zacha's to lose and Lysell's the game during training camp. And that's where Montgomery's going to leave it. If he proves himself, boom, he's going to be rolled out from game 1.
I genuinely don't see that happening. I don't think Fabian Lysell is going to outperform Pavel Zacha in his first NHL training camp. Do I think he has more talent? Yeah, but Zacha's not exactly like low in natural skill and talent. Like he was a 6th overall pick. I think Zacha's going to be just fine. I don't know. Like right,
that's kind of it.
Yeah, Toporowski.
It's Connor's boy.
Toporowski.
Yeah, so we all kind of saw the highlights that came across the other day. The young kid pots 2 goals. You didn't see it? I'll send you.
Yeah,
it.
I actually went and just watched Beecher and Lizelle, I think, to be honest with you.
I sent you them the other day.
Maybe I watched them. I watched them. Yeah, if you send them to me, I definitely watched them.
So the one thing and the main reason why he's on the list is I currently live in the same city area that this folk comes from in the middle of, Iowa, Illinois, kind of splits the city here. But it's just kind of one of those things where it's neat, where you see somebody who grew up, in the area that you're currently living and make it, into the NHL program. Looks like, he's probably going to end up going back to the WHL, maybe an AHL Providence contract. I think his deal is actually built for the AHL, if I'm not mistaken, but I would have to double check. But seeing somebody who comes in who wasn't really on, a lot of your prospect depth charts and is performing and showing that he has something there, I think that's a huge positive for the Bruins when they completely lack depth in the prospect pool. So when you kind of find these gems laying out there, that's going to be a big deal. I mean, that's what made, the Tampa Bays of the world successful recently. That's what the Bruins are going to have to do, especially as they try to retool, rebuild, whatever you want to call it on the fly.
Yeah. Prospect pool doesn't look as bad as everyone makes it out to be. Still lacks center depth.
I think that's why it sucks, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have what you need.
No. I think that kind of wraps it up for the Bruins, for the dirty water. It's kind of it. We're going
Really
to we're going to dedicate this whole Salt of the East segment to our Metro Division preview. Next week we'll do the Atlantic, then we'll jump out west in the next 2 episodes, and then it'll be go time on the season. So I'm going to kick this off with our preview, and let's get rolling into the Salt of the East. First team up in our breakdown is the Carolina Hurricanes. Remember that time I said Carolina Panthers? That was funny. Carolina Hurricanes, they have -2 million cap space, which will obviously just be LTIR covered. This offseason, they made the additions of Pacioretty, Burns, Stastny, and Andre Kasha. They lost Vinny Trocheck, Max Domi, Cole, and Big D Tony DeAngelo. Stanley Cup aspirations? ? How do you guys feel about this team?
I don't know. I think Carolina, they have the grit. They already had some players in place.
The grit? When you think of Carolina, you think grit? Like grit week? Like getting down in the mud?
A little gritty.
It's different.
Not the gritty, just gritty.
You think them as like if you look at the Metro Division, you're like, Carolina is the grittiest team in there.
No.
They're going to grind you out.
I didn't say that, but
I don't think they're gritty at all. I think they have no grit. Like, who's gritty that they got? They're gritty players. They got rid of all 4 gritty players they had.
I would agree. I think they got soft as baby shit.
Pacioretty's soft as shit. Brent Burns is.
Pacioretty is also going to be out
Burns
for like 6 months.
Burns is not gritty. Burns is kind of gritty, I guess, but not. He's more like talent-based player. Stastny, not really known for his grit, and Andre Kasha is about as gritty as a piece of toilet.
I know. I'm just gonna go back to not talking during the podcast.
No, Kev, I love your points. Sorry,
just not the gritty Carolina Panthers.
Maybe in the morning I'm just I'm easier to deal with. But yeah, I don't take him. Stanley Cup aspirations, Kev. Getting to your feelings about that.
I don't think they're gonna win it. They'll make the playoffs, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
You know what, Kev? That's the kind of breakdown that I can get behind because I agree.
Hey,
I don't think they're going to win a Stanley Cup. I think they're going to be a playoff team. If Max Pacioretty comes back late in the season and he clicks and he doesn't do the weird Pacioretty stuff, then maybe they make a really hard push. I don't see them getting. I don't.
It's all going to depend on Kotkaniemi and if he can live up to his expectation, because he's going to have to play second line center at this point with
the guy they oversheeted.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think that this team is going to be better than a lot of people are expecting in a very like
Well, they're the best team in their division.
In the Metro and the Atlantic, it seems like all of the quote unquote contenders are all like neck and neck.
Yeah, they are. They 100% are. Like I would say Carolina's even with Tampa,
Toronto.
Florida, Toronto, Boston. They're all even. They're really all even. It's going to be such a dogfight compared to out west. But yeah, Carolina got better. They got different. Carolina got different. I don't know if the guys they brought in are as much of Rod Brendamore players as the guys that left. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I really don't know.
That's a tough one.
They no longer have a bunch of space to work with. They're not going to be wheeling and dealing with the deadline, I don't think. So I think it kind of is what it is, and they could win. They could win. I don't think they will. Next team on the list, the New York Rangers. Now, this is a team that really it kind of stayed the same to me. They have $1 million in cap space. They added Vinny Trocheck. They added Yaro Halak. Their losses were the Kopster, Gorgiev, and Mott. Mott, I really don't think is as much of an impact as the Rangers fans that are with inside the rink think he is. I'm not exactly sure he's the reason the Stanley Cup's not going to New York. Yeah, Kopp and Trocheck, I think, are literally like just one cup of water, another cup of water. They're just very good NHL players. They wash. Halak and Georgiev is better. Georgiev, better. Lundqvist has still requested a trade. He may not show up for camp. Not Hank Niels.
Not Hank Nils.
The Rangers are going to be better because they're going to be a little older. Their younger players are going to be a little older. They're going to have more experience. The Rangers are going to be a playoff team, and they're going to be
have a new captain finally.
They do. They do. High hit Trouba. They're I don't know. Rangers are going to be pretty good. I think the Rangers could win this division too. Those are my two teams that could really win this division. I think it's going to be the Rangers and Carolina.
The Rangers, I think, are my favorite right now in the 22-23 Patrick Kane sweepstakes.
If they get Patrick Kane, it instantly pushes them to be a contender. Instantly. Patrick Kane would love
Shesterkin, man. Ooh.
He's good. He's
nasty.
very good. He's very good, and I think this is the Alexis Lafreniere breakout season, the real breakout. I mean, last year he started it, but I think this is the year. I think both him and Jack Hughes make their commanding stamps on the NHL this year. Get into that further in a second. The Penguins, they have negative $1.4 million in cap space. They added Jeff Petrie, Ruda, Ryan Poling. It's Ryan Poling, right?
Yeah.
And then they lost Marino, Matheson, and Rodriguez. The reunion tour that never ends. A poetic way to explain the Penguins.
Yep.
The Penguins, at one point in this summer, looked like they were about to blow this thing to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly Malkin and Letang were re-signed for large sums of money. And they decided they were going to run it back, Turbo.
And they kept Jason Zucker without trading.
Yeah,
him. They re-signed Ricard Raquel. Like, they did not help themselves get younger by any means necessary.
No.
Especially bringing in Jeff Petrie.
I'm thinking that Crosby sat down with Brian Burke and he sat down with Jim Rutherford's there, right? Am I wrong in that thinking? Jim Rutherford? No. Who's the GM there? Right. Yeah, I can't think right now. Hextall, he sat down with him and old Berkey. I still think Berkey's calling all the shots. I feel like wherever he is, he's calling the shots. And Crosby said, I want to run it back with these guys. And they said, okay. And that's what they're doing. And I think if it doesn't work, the Penguins will blow things up soon. I don't think this Penguins team has many years left. I actually don't think they're that good. But I do think a team with Sidney Crosby at any point in time could make a run and be a playoff team.
I mean, just looking at their roster, you've got the Crosby, Malkin, Gensel, Zucker, Rust, Raquel, Kapanen, Jeff Carter, Brock McGinn, Bruins legend, Dan Heinen.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
Petrie, Letang, Dumoulin, Ruda.
That roster, we need to see what they look like at the end of 82 games.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of miles on those tires. And I don't know how often they've been rotated and if they've done it to manufacturer specs. I really don't know.
And I mean, blowing it up would be fantastic for them, but they have a lot of longer-term contracts.
Because we got to pick our playoff teams. I guess we'll do it at the end. But I'm going to leave that one up in the air. I'm not going to say how I feel about them yet. Capitals. Capitals are sitting at negative $6.3 million in cap space. Obviously, they're going to use LTIR. They added Connor Brown, Dylan Strome, and Darcy Kemper. They lost Vitek Vanacek and I almost said Sergei Samsonov. And Samsonov, the Russian goalie, who likes to watch whatever his name, Evgeny Kuznetsov do the blow. The other guy was always with him. Backstrom's going to miss the majority of the season, which right there is detrimental to this team.
That's a killer.
Yeah, but I think Dylan Strome could be a good cap. I really do. I think Strome could be a good cap. I think they miss Verana. I think Mantha's less dynamic and hurts their overall dynamic offense. They still have Ovechkin. They still have Kokboy Kuznetsov. They still have Tom Wilson. They still have Oshie. I'm no longer scared of the Washington Capitals. I'm no longer someone who looks at the Caps and the Capitals are officially on the way down. They're a team that I don't like. Who's their top prospect? Hendrix Lapierre?
Probably, yeah.
He's good. I think he'll be good, but I think the Caps will be in the playoffs? Probably still, right? I'm not sure. They still have a decent decor, at the top end with Orlov and Carlson. They have players. I think if Darcy Kemper goes in and if Darcy fits in well and is a leader there, then I think they'll be okay.
Yeah,
right?
I think this is like the most comparable to the Bruins in the Atlantic division.
They have a lot of top end talent and they have a good, decent, weird middle area.
And their
Bruins
top end
defense
talent's
is better.
kind of older, and also with the way their contracts are structured. There's only 5 forwards that are signed past this season, and then there's only one defenseman on their roster who's signed past this year. Ovechkin.
Oh yeah,
he's
didn't
signed
they sign
until
him forever?
2026.
Yeah, they signed him until forever. Yeah,
to try and give him the chance. But
no Backstrom's weird. It's gonna be tough. That's the thing. I just don't. But he was hurt a lot last year too. I mean, they're the Capitals. They have Ovechkin.
A toss up. I mean, I think right now, honestly, with the way this team is going, they'll probably trade people at the trade deadline, but they will keep enough top 6 talent around to help Ovechkin come close to that record or break that record.
Yeah, the Capitals are never going to be bad in Ovechkin's time there. They won't do that. So, I mean, Ovechkin is going to become the most prolific goal scorer of all time, and they're going to make sure that happens. So, that'll happen. I don't see them as a cup contender, though. I don't see either the Penguins or the Capitals as a contender, which is weird because I do see the Bruins as an outside contender. But I think that's more just my internal bias. But it's not, because the Bruins have better defense. The Bruins simply have better defense.
When healthy, yeah.
Yeah, when healthy. Yeah.
We'll get into that next week.
Yeah, they just have better defense. The Islanders is my laughing stock of the offseason. They have $2.3 million in cap space. They probably won't use it. They'll just keep that, let it ride. They added Romanov, who I think is a good signing. They lost Chara and Green. Lost some veteran presence in that locker room, but slow guys who were not helping them. They were said to be in on every single star, but maybe they didn't want to shave their beards. Maybe they didn't want to have to wear a suit to bed. Maybe they want to stay out past 9 p.m. But Lou Lamoriello's days of ruling the NHL are done. They're done. His way of doing things is over. It doesn't work. It's a failure. The Islanders are going to lose Matt Barzal because he's going to ask to get out of there. Matt Barzal is a budding superstar, and he has the personality to follow it. He is being stuck in Long Island. It's people think you go to New York to shine. Not on that team. Not on that team that nobody cares about over there. They had some relevance for a couple of years, and it looked like things were going to happen, and then they just did nothing. And they do this. I don't even want to keep getting into it. They have a new coach. They're going to miss the playoffs. That's my opinion. Kev, How do you feel about the Islanders?
Oh, let me with my gasoline and some matches because big old dumpster fire over there.
Kevin! Oh my,
Hopping
Kevin.
on the train.
In this economy, Kevin? Oh
Always.
my God.
Always.
Oh my God. I think the Islanders are the worst team in that division.
Everyone got
agree.
better and they stunk. It's tough.
Matt Barzal have a contract till when?
I think he is eligible for an extension coming up here, like after this season, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll figure it out. Connor, you have any words about this team or no? Did I hit it all for you?
Connor's a big Islanders fan.
I absolutely hate the Islanders. Barzal is signed at $7 million through the end of this season.
Yeah.
And he becomes an RFA.
Yeah, he's out of there. There's no way he goes back. He's out of there.
He's going to pull a Matty Tkachuk.
For the Islanders, there's not like a ton of cap space that's going to, open itself up outside of Varlamov, So if Barzal wants 10, 12, 13 million, something like that, it'll be there, but you're going to be on a team where most of the players on the roster are over 30 or 32 years old. It's going to be a nothing burger all over again.
Barzal's going to become an Anaheim Duck.
I like that.
Really?
That. Yeah.
See, you want to know what my wacky waters pick is? The Bruins are going to correct.
It'd be so funny. You remember that? I was going to say it, and I didn't want to seem like a hardo. So I went with the Ducks. I just thought he would look real nice next to Zegras.
The Bruins fixed the 2015 draft woes. They got rid of Senyshyn. Now they can bring in Barzal, and they can pretend like it never happened.
One of the darlings of this offseason, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Sitting with a whopping 416,000 dull hairs in cap space. They added two people, Gabranson and who's the other guy? Johnny Gaudreau. They lost Bjorkstrand. Texier is on a leave of absence. Hopefully he'll be back next year because I think it's the whole year he's projecting to be out this year.
Yeah.
Blue Jackets are going to be better. Johnny Gaudreau makes the team better. His playmaking ability, him playing with Laine makes him better. Kent Johnson makes them better. Another year with some of their young guys, with a Jack Roslovic, they're going to be better. They're still not a playoff team. They still need to keep rebuilding. Cole Sillinger, good player. They have good players. They're coming along. They have that Russian kid who's supposed to be good. Don't know his name, but I know he's Russian. I know he's supposed to be good. You guys got anything? Or are we just going to listen to me talk about these teams?
It's still interesting to see Johnny Gaudreau go there just because he said it was different. I don't know how it's going to really play out, but we look at this. Really, what the biggest weakness is center. They don't really have that much center depth.
Now,
yeah. I mean, like Kent Johnson, I think will be a center down the line, but rookies don't normally play center, so he's going to be playing the wing. Who is that kid that they keep saying is going to start at center? Is it
Cole Sillinger?
He is going to start. He's going to be their first line center. Roslovic will be the two.
He's pretty good. Remember last year when we were going through? We
didn't know who he was. The three of us didn't know who he was.
And then it's like, oh shit, he has like 25 goals or something.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good. And
if I'm not mistaken, Sillinger, I believe, might have been part of the Seth Jones deal. I'm going to fact check myself.
Maybe the pick. I think they drafted him. He wasn't drafted. Cole Sillinger was drafted by Columbus.
Let's see. Because I know that they got rid of Bjorkstrand, who was a center. And
yeah,
that was primarily...
He was drafted 12th overall by the Jackets.
Yes, and that pick was the first-round pick in 2021 from Chicago.
Nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
So what's their top line going to be? Sillinger, Gaudreau,
and Laine.
It's
good, but the problem is behind them.
Yeah.
But it'll work itself out.
Like, for me, my biggest gripe with the Blue Jackets is you signed Johnny Gaudreau because he was there and available, and he was willing to come there. And your major point was we want to sign people who want to come here to make a point that Yes, people do want to stay here. But you're in the middle of a rebuild, and that is,
He
even on a
helps them,
bad
though.
team, an 80-point player
He
who's going to
helps
help
them, though.
you win more games. Like, you're not in the
Oh no, they're moving themselves out of rebuild. They're moving towards being done. They have a couple years to do it. But the thing is, if they don't make vast improvements in like 3 years, I see Gaudreau being like, "Hey, I want out." So we'll see how that goes. I think that. I mean, I'm not ready to say Columbus is moving fully in the right direction. A team that is moving fully in the right direction, and I think is on the cusp of breaking through rebuild, is the New Jersey Devils. They got better. They got Palat, they got Holla, they got Marino, and they got Vitek Vanacek. They lost Pavel Zacha, future Bruins star, and also possible other future Bruins star,
the Subanator.
PK Subanator. They got better. Marino at this point in his career is better than Subban. Palat and Holla together bring more value than Zacha. And Vanacek's a solid 1B type goalie. Also, Jack Hughes is a year older.
Mackenzie Blackwood as well, but I think he has an injury to start the season.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Sounds right. What they do have is who I think is one of the best young talent, if not the best under 23 player in the NHL, Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes is going to be full-fledged Jack Hughes. I think Luke Hughes could make the team this year, which would be super helpful. They drafted another top defenseman. They have Nico Hischier, who's very good. They have, who's the other guy? Dylan Mercer, who is going to be very good.
They have Dougie Hamilton,
who is very good.
I think it's Dawson Mercer.
True, yeah. No, that sounds right. Dawson Mercer sounds right.
Yeah, they have the talent. It's just they got to put it together. And
so here's the sticking point for me, right? Yeah, you have a lot of talent, but they're all like really young. Like I hate to make that a knock, but the rumors coming out that Matty Tkachuk nixed a trade to the Devils. Like, why did he nix a trade to the Devils? Well, he probably thought that they aren't, ready to compete for.
Well, they're not there. They're not there. They're just further forward, I think, than the last team we talked about.
Well, no. I get that 100%. I think that Fitzgerald is definitely moving in the right direction with the team overall. There's still a lot of mildly mediocre players on that roster for my liking. Like, it seems like the Devils are either hitting absolute gems on draft picks or it turns into nothing burgers. There's not a lot of the, the Taylor Halls where, you have a superstar season every now and again and you'll consistently put up, 30 goals. It's either feast or famine, it seems like, in New Jersey.
It's going to be that way for a bit, probably, till they make that next step, but they're in the right direction. A team that I think is not in the right direction and is going to fight the Islanders for the dumpster spot. Maybe not, but probably. The Philadelphia Flyers. I would pay a subscription, like $5.99 a month, just for us to get a behind-the-scenes look at this team this year, because it is going to be comedy. They're sitting at minus $2.3 million over the cap. They added, I'm not going to be able to do it. Do it for me, Connor.
Delorier.
And Tony DeAngelo. Tony DeAngelo fits the culture of Philadelphia better than anyone. That guy loves a cheesesteak and Trump. He's going to be just fine there. They lost Lindblom, Martin Jones, and the GOAT Keith Yandel. They have trouble with goaltending health. Carter Hart has not stayed fully healthy yet. And the biggest addition to this team is the one and only John, the Italian Stallion Tortorella. He is going to go in there. He's already in there now.
Oh, my God. He's already making waves.
He is.
It is not sunny in Philadelphia.
No. He publicly said, like, his first order of business is the locker room because he has big problems with the things that go on in this locker room, and he's got to fix off the ice before they work on the ice. So he already disrespected his players before even getting in there and meeting all of them. John Tortorella.
But that's his bag. You know what I mean? Like,
He's a shitbag. Yeah.
he's one of those dudes that comes in and he like asserts his dominance and lets you know, like, hey, you know, I'm the guy.
He's a squid.
You're gonna
He tries
you're gonna
fighting
toe the line.
players.
Yeah, I hate John Tortorella. Like, I think he's like he's just such a clown. No, like he's a sideshow. Like,
Would
he
you
wants
rather
the show
have
to be
John
about him.
Tortorella or Mike Babcock?
Well, Tortorella is not abusive. But no,
So
no
he's
one's
not
ever said.
that
No one's ever
awful.
said. Yeah, he's just a dickhead. He just like he likes the show to be about him, and that's where it's kind of like, dude, come on.
But at the same time, I mean, not right now, obviously, but most of the time in his career, he takes the light away from the players so that they can play hockey. Obviously, right now he's not doing that because he's basically telling everybody that the players in Philly are, you know, kind of pieces of shit, if you will, using some creative latitude there. The one thing that I think is really weird, that's
Ooh.
great, is Torts a clown. The Delorier and D'Angelo coming in brings a new level of grit
Grit.
to go
That's
with
grit.
the gritty. You're going to see John Tortorella doing the gritty behind an NHL bench.
Or will he be fighting gritty? That's the real question.
Like, I think you're right. Like, you know how the NFL does Hard Knocks?
Yeah, I love that. It'd be so awesome.
If they would do another Amazon series like they did on the Maple Leafs and do it about
That
the
was so
Philadelphia
good.
Flyers, that was a really good series. I
love
actually
that.
really enjoyed it. I feel like if they did one this offseason for the Flyers and into the season, that this would be absolutely banana lands.
No, I
And
really
I
do.
can't wait.
It would be amazing. Like, it would be so good for the game. Like, Disney should be begging. Disney, ESPN, TNT, whatever they have Biz narrate it. Oh my god, it would be so good. Shout out to Biz and the Wheeling Nailers.
Oh shit!
That's a cool puck, huh? Wheeling Nailers puck. Shout out the Nailers. My favorite ECHL team is the Wheeling Nailers. If you guys were ever wondering.
Solid. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, big Wheeling Nailers guy. Flyers going to be a joke. It's going to be awesome. I think you're going to see guys like Kevin Hayes ship right on out of there because either Torts loves him or hates him. I don't think there won't be a middle ground with those two. That's it. That's it for the Metro. The Metro is an ugly division.
Pick your 3 playoff
teams
out of the bunch.
3. Okay, we're not going to go wild card. That's fair. I like that. So our 3 playoff teams. I'm going to go Carolina, the Rangers, and the Capitals.
Okay, I'm going to be a little bit different than you. Kev, what's your 3?
I'm going to go Carolina, Rangers, the Devils.
Oh, Kev, you're with me. I was going to pick the same 3. Carolina, the Rangers.
The Devils were my wild card pick. If we were doing 4, I was going to do the Devils. But both wild cards are going to come out of the Atlantic, and we all know that. So why would we even act like there's going to be 3 there? So that's why I get it. Like, it's just going to be 3. Yeah, no, I could see the Devils being there. I could. I'm not even going to argue with you guys, but I'm going to go Caps. I'll stick to it. So I'm going to go Caps.
He's a big Alex Ovechkin guy.
Yeah, I mean, no, I am. I've been an Ovechkin fan my whole life. I don't like Russia at all, and I don't like his support for Putin. But I do like Ovechkin. Ovechkin does like Russia, confirmed.
Jake
big
likes
Putin guy.
Jake likes Ovechkin and Russian gas.
Yeah, the Russian gas. We've explained what the Russian gas is because I don't think you knew.
You did.
You didn't know what it was.
I love it ever since you told me.
Jake is, getting the Russian gas in the morning before he coaches the kids.
That's what you go in the locker room when my Mike team that I coach in Russia, you go right in the locker room and they just have the gas mask and it just takes away all the pain. You're ready to go score goals. It's still it's actually crazy to think about that there's a professional league in Russia where the players are sitting in their stalls getting a gas mask of a chemical no one knows what it is. And it gives them energy, makes them feel hydrated and ready to go, and they go play games all like that. It's just the wildest concept.
It's like meth.
This league. Let's get into the Wild Wild West because that's what it's like out in Russia. It's like the Wild Wild West.
What a freaking segue.
I just went to click a segment. We don't have one yet. So for the Wild Wild West, we're just going to go with a mango background. Welcome to the Wild Wild West. Ooh,
it's like
Evander Kane settlement. Kevin. What are you guys going to have to talk?
Because I didn't read about it. I just know he's settled.
Oh, you put it on the sheet. And you have
the gist of it.
Sick.
Connor put it on the sheet.
I thought you did. I thought he
No.
Oh.
He has the last one on the list here today. So the Evander Kane settlement, the new contract that he signed with the Oilers basically got him 75% of what his contract with the Sharks was. So the settlement that they came to is the Sharks would make him whole and fill that other, roughly 25% salary gap, and it be charged to their salary cap last year. So it doesn't impact them this year. Kane gets just cut a check for the difference. Everybody washes their hands and walks away.
You think he put that on black or he put it on like third or red? What do you think? Maybe just a few numbers?
00, baby.
Yeah. Probably paying off his previous debts, maybe some alimony or child support.
Sick.
It's been a rough year and a half for Evander Kane. That's for sure.
Some more just kind of negative news. B-Lock-A Wheeler out in Winnipeg was stripped of his C.
Taken right
And
out.
I will tell you from listening to an interview this morning with Mark Scheifele.
32 Thoughts?
Correct.
I listened to it too.
The team seems a little shocked by this, and he made it clear that he wanted to get back to Winnipeg from the vacation he was on or wherever he was in Vegas, being in Vegas for the NHL media stuff, to go support his friend first from Blake Wheeler going through this. Weird. Just a weird move. I get why. They're trying to change the culture and they're trying to fix the culture. But
so if you really kind of dig into it, and one of the Inside the Rink writers, Rick Haley, he's actually going to write a more in-depth article about this, but kind of like mine
wasn't good enough, huh?
The events. No, the long-term events of when Evander Kane was there in Winnipeg and they had that whole debacle. Then the Dustin Byfuglien, just deciding, I'm done. I'm not going to play here anymore. He walks away. Jacob Trouba wanted to leave. Kevin Hayes didn't want to stay there, which, it's Winnipeg. Nobody blames
him. Winnipeg doesn't exactly – I don't know if people get there thinking they're going to Florida, but – they're in Winnipeg. Winnipeg's like Edmonton, but worse.
Even if you take the climate or the city out of it, still nobody wants to stick around. There's a core group of players that stay there and is seemingly the toxic trait of the locker room.
That's why the Bruins got rid of them.
Maybe Rick Bowness came in there and said, look, this is the way that I'm going to shoot my shot across the bow like Torts, but I'm ripping the C off somebody's chest. And, the general manager went along with it and agreed.
Future captain of that team, I have two guys who I'm going to tell you who it's going to be. It's either going to be Kyle Connor.
Nikolai Ehlers.
Or Ehlers. Because I thought it was going to be Scheifele, but I don't think he'll take it. I don't think he's going to take it. I think he might be part of that old regime. Kind of part of that guys they look at. I mean, his comments at the end of last year were very much I want out. And I think he sat down over the summer and said, all right, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want out like that. If they start to slide, I think he's gone. But his relationship with Adam Oates and Adam Oates' relationship with Bowness, I think will help Scheifele along there for a bit. You know what I mean?
It's not really Bowness that you have to appease.
No.
It's Chevy,
Yeah, Cheveldayoff.
Yeah. What's really weird is, on paper, they have a pretty good team.
No, they're not bad. They're not bad at all.
And, it's obvious that the locker room is so toxic that it's impossible to make anything decent.
It's weird. It's I would never... Just talking gambling, I don't ever bet against Winnipeg. The odds are never good. They're usually a lot of times they're the underdog, Like, I don't like to touch the teams going against them. I don't like to touch games that Winnipeg's in because they're way better than how they play. And some nights they show up and they prove that. It's like, I stay way off Winnipeg. Winnipeg's a weird team. It's going to change for sure. They have a lot of talent, and Rick Bowness is a great coach. So maybe he figures it out. Maybe he's the guy to go in there and do it. Last one, Kevy, you want to get into it? You can you can intro this segment.
Oh, yes. Some more news out of Vegas regarding the toxic management style with the 23-year-old defenseman Nick Hague. He is an RFA, and with training camp, a week away, 2 weeks away, he still has no contract. There's no talks. There's just nothing. He hasn't heard anything. His agents haven't heard anything from Vegas. He's pretty much in the dark. He's in Vegas, ready for training camp. But if he doesn't have a contract, he's like, I'm not showing up. It's just another line of Vegas management, the way they're treating their players, and one of the big reasons why people didn't want to go there. And people have been vocal about that. So just it's another slap in the face to their players and just shows they're all about the business, and that's how it is in Vegas.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, and I don't know, not having a state income tax in Vegas, surely is nice. The weather, I'm sure, isn't awful. There's always tons of things to do, probably not the greatest if you're raising a family in the NHL to be there, but
Henderson's not bad. So none of them live on the strip. They all live in Henderson.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah, it's not. I actually don't like. I think like the raising the family stuff's really not. The area like Elko is not great, but like Henderson's super nice, and like I've heard interviews with like Ryan Reeves, and like they loved it. Early Vegas I think was awesome. Like it was great.
Oh, I bet.
Before they started playing armchair GM, and they blew up that team they built and all that. Like they didn't realize. It was like how Kevin said it, like they kind of took the human factor out of it, and it's a team sport. It's superhuman. So like you can't get rid of guys willy-nilly. Like it isn't.
You're playing GM mode in shell on like a yearly basis, and you're going to get to the point like look at all the different people they've traded away, and then you start to think, okay, well Vegas wants to offer me this contract. Well, okay, I'll take that if you're giving me trade protection.
Question for you two. 3 years' time, what team would you rather be the GM of? The Vegas Golden Knights or the Seattle Kraken?
3 years from now?
Yep.
Kraken.
Vegas.
Because you still have Eichel?
Because I can do whatever I want. Whenever I want, and nobody.
No, I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, what team would you rather be like dropped in and it's yours, like, and you can't like it has to autopilot.
And obviously, the goal is to win the Stanley Cup.
I would say, what team would you rather be the coach of, not the GM? What team would you rather be dropped in as the coach of? The roster's your roster 3 years from now. I think I'm going Seattle too.
Yeah, I just think all that young talent.
I don't think Eichel lasts there. I think you're going to lose him, and he's going to start. Like I don't
maybe, but if you're talking 3 years from now, I would definitely pick Vegas because 3 years from now, Seattle still is not going to have like the star power
enough. Yeah. And I don't know if you listened to the whole 32 Thoughts. I haven't finished it, but just Nate McKinnon talking about like how in 17, 18, 19, and 20, he was like him and Landeskog genuinely thought like they were going to win the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And now they look back and they're like, no shot, man. We had no chance because it takes so many different things and such a veteran group. It does take time. It takes a lot of time.
Yep.
You play it in the video game and you build a team of young stars. It doesn't let you win the cup.
It's the algorithm.
It's
the Gary Bettman algorithm.
Yeah. But that wraps up the West. Let's get into our final segment. Hopefully soon going to be presented by something kind of cool. But the Lucky Duckies segment of the show. we're purple now. I love it. Kev, what do you have for bets for us for this coming week? And we will make sure to get these on Twitter.
Yeah, this coming week. There's some definitely good matchups, but also like the NFL has been so weird.
Oh yeah, Kevin and I did not win our bets today. It was weird.
I won one of them.
There's so much. It's like it's tough because there's just so much parity.
Right.
It's not normally there.
And like the 3 comebacks today were just unreal.
The Cowboys won against the Bengals with Cooper Rush.
The Colts taking a shit.
Yeah, like it was weird.
But yeah, for next week, I like the Ravens over the Patriots. Like I just think, the Patriots, they showed, but Baltimore's defense can be there when they want. Lamar is just an insane human and athlete. So I like Ravens over Patriots. And then I think Raiders over Titans. Raiders got to win. They're 0-2. They have the talent. They're going to win that one. So I'm going those two. I like that.
I like that. I do like it. I have I'm kind of like, I have a parlay along the same lines. I'm going to go Bengals over the Jets, money line, parlayed with the Ravens beating the Pats, money line. It puts you at like plus 139, at least how the prelim odds are right now. I look at it as Cincy has to win, and they're way too talented to not go out and beat the Jets. Like, this is a put your foot in the ground and win type week, and they're going to do it. The Ravens are just a better football team than the Pats at this point. So I think they're going to win.
Yeah.
They could lose. If you want a for sure bet, I really think you could absolutely hammer the Bengals at minus 210. I think minus 210 is real good odds right now, and that's going to change. So, like, I think you could hammer the Bengals just because I think the Bengals will end up it'll be like minus 250 probably right before
also the Chiefs over the Colts.
Yeah, I know, but like it's just I don't.
The Colts are going to come out and have
a game. That's a problem, man.
Dogs.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't want to do that. I don't want to touch that game. I don't want to touch because the Colts are a team where they have too much talent to just keep being terrible. So I don't.
Just hammer whoever the Bills, whoever they're playing. Just hammer the Bills.
No, I can't. The Bills are playing the Dolphins.
That's gonna be a
good Dolphins
matchup.
Are a team now.
Oh, so hammer the Bills since
hammer the over.
Dolphins are decent.
Hammer the over.
Yeah,
because there's gonna be a lot of scoring in the Bills Dolphins game. That I believe. Hammer the over. But I mean, we'll get all these tweeted out. I think that kind
next week we'll be able to start picking it up on the NHL.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more news. A lot more news.
Preseason will be started next week. I think we're actually a week away from our first preseason game.
Yeah, 24th is the first game. So it was 6 days. Yeah.
Solid.
I'm excited, and it'll all be televised for the Bruins. Super excited for the season. As you can see on the banner below, if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, go to InsideTheRink.com for your Cue the Duck Boats merch. Follow all of us on Twitter. Subscribe to our Inside the Rink YouTube channel. You'll see the categories there for all the different clips of the podcast. If you just want to listen to certain areas of it, you want to listen to the whole episode, buy our merch, watch our stuff, retweet our tweets. It helps support us. We do this because we love doing it. So just support us, and we will continue to do this. And have a great Sunday night, boys, and have a great week.